Today I'm going to be reviewing the Freeboard 5X. I've had it for over a week now, and I've had a good amount of time to try and see how different it is from my old G3R Freeboard. I learnt to ride on this board, but I'm going to try and give an impartial view as to whether it's worth just skipping straight to the 5X or whether you should get a deal on an older generation board. This video will be of 3 parts. I'll first give an overview of the main differences between the two boards, so the older generation boards and the 5X. I'll then do a section on my own thoughts as to whether I think that it's worth it and whether I'm going to start riding it as my main board in the future. And then I'll do a conclusion as to whether others should learn to freeboard using the 5X or an older generation board. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get to it. What makes the Freeboard 5X special are the trucks. It's split in 2 parts with 2 springs in between, which allow you to get a much deeper carve than the older generation boards. The Freeboard 5X comes in at $420, which is actually quite reasonable considering how much it would normally cost to go snowboarding. However, given they've been around for a while, the older generation freeboards go for about $150, so it's not necessarily an easy decision to choose between. Also, buying second-hand parts can be quite unreliable, and you'd have to choose between the old generation freeboards. Ones I would consider if I were you starting out are the G3 series and the G3R. The only difference between these is that the G3R trucks are slightly curved. It stands for rocker, which basically means you have more space between the edge wheels and the ground. If you can only afford second-hand, then a G3R board would be my recommendation, as that's what I learnt on, and it's easily more than enough if you want to just get into freeboarding. But how does this compare with the 5X? Well, the 5X is definitely much easier to learn with. The wheels that they would give you would be better suited for a beginner, as they're much slidier. And finally, because of the springs, you get a continuous transition from edge to edge, which is absolutely underrated. The 5X, it actually completely transforms the way you ride. It makes it easier to carve into switch and out, and overall just makes the ride much more enjoyable. It's also easier to push on a 5X because of that continuous transition from edge to edge. It also does just feel much nicer to ride, especially when you land a jump. The springs make for a much softer landing. So, will I just use the 5X now? No, because there's still loads of use cases where my old board will do just fine and I'll still want to use it. But that doesn't mean that I prefer my old board to the 5X. It just means that they're both really good for individual things. I mean, the 5X, I wouldn't want to use at a skate park, but I'd be more than happy to slam my old board up at the skate park. So in conclusion, I really just don't think that you can go wrong either way. I mean, if you have the money, then you should definitely get the 5X. It's amazing. But if not, then just learn to freeboard on one of the older ones, because they work just fine. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions about the 5X, feel free to comment them. Otherwise, have a good one.